Welcome to the Childcare Genius Podcast, the world's leading authority on childcare marketing, mindset, expansion, and profitability. Each episode will feature interviews with the brightest minds in the childcare industry to guide you into becoming a smarter business leader. Our hosts have opened 10 schools while raising 5 children. They are certified business coaches and are the top-selling childcare business book authors of all time. This episode is sponsored by Childcare Genius Marketing. Let Childcare Genius Marketing help you get fully enrolled and fully staffed. Visit childcaregenius.com for more details. Let's welcome to the Childcare Genius Podcast our hosts, Brian and Carol Dupre.
Hello, welcome to the Childcare Genius Podcast.
We're your hosts, Brian and Carol Dupre.
Thank you so much for taking time out of your busy life to spend a little time with us. We got an exciting, action-packed podcast today. And I just want to tell you how beautiful you look today, Carol. If you're looking this on YouTube, Carol's got this beautiful outfit on, and it's just super sexy. And I'm almost having a hard time containing myself sitting next to her. But if you haven't watched it on YouTube, you can probably see her. You don't have to look at me, just block me out. But anyway, it's going to be a good podcast today. We got a great guest and one of my favorite people in the whole world. And we brought her on today to share a little bit. She's got some expansion going on in her school. But before we get started, just a reminder that the Childcare Genius Financial Leverage Conference is coming up. And tickets are on sale now, and they're going fast. September 29th to October 2nd. It's in Riviera Maya, Mexico. So how does that sound to have a tax-deductible vacation? If you're listening to this and you have not had a vacation the last 6 months, you need one. And why not come hang out with Carol and I at a beach? We'll go sit in a classroom for 4 hours a day. By 1 o'clock every day, you're on the beach, you're by the pool, you're relaxing, you're talking networking. Carol and I will be in the pool hanging out with you. Let us spend a week with you. What is that worth to you? So tickets are on sale right now, and we'd love to have you. Now just come hang out with us, come hang out with our coaches and about 200 other childcare owners. And it's an owners only conference. And we would absolutely love to spend time with you. And it's a great resort. It's a very safe area. We've been there many times. And this resort we're going to is awesome. You have a nice adults only hotel. If you don't want children around, that's me. And there's 2 other hotels you could stay at. So again, details are on our website at childcaregenius.com, and go to the conference tab and select the leverage conference. And all of the topics are financial related. And it'll be enrollment, how to increase your finances when it comes to enrollment, leadership, marketing, staffing, hiring, all that ties into financial. So anything that has a financial component to increase your profitability, we're going to discuss there. And the cool thing is I'm going to offer $1 million guarantee. And if you don't get at least $1 million worth of information by day 3, get your money back. That's a pretty darn good deal. Put my money where my mouth is, because I'm going to be spewing out the financial stuff. And we're going to learn about real estate, diversification, and really know how to really make yourself a multimillionaire. So that's what we're going to focus in. So anyway, childcaregenius.com and more details. But today's guest is Mayosha Mendis. And Mayosha, I've coached Mayosha for many, many years. And she's been a personal friend. And we have learned a lot from her because she is just such an interesting person. She has a unique model, and she's going to talk a little bit about what she does. And without further ado, I think we need to move it along and get her there.
Let's get Mayosha on the line. Hi, Mayosha. Welcome to the Childcare Genius Podcast. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. Thank you, Carol and Brian. How are you all doing today?
Doing great. I've missed you. Haven't seen you in a couple months, and hope things are well with you. And wanted to say thank you so much for taking time out of your busy life. You got things really happening down in Virginia, and I just want to say thank you for sharing a little bit of your time with our guests. I really admire you. But a lot of people don't know who you are. I had you on the podcast a long time ago, and I wanted to have you back because you are just one of my favorite people. And but there's some people out there that don't know you, and your background, what your life was like before you started a childcare business. I know you could have made a whole lot of money in your profession. You're very educated and very smart. Why did you decide to pick childcare, and tell our audience a little bit about your background?
Sure. Well, yes, first of all, I'm truly blessed to do what I love to do. I have a medical research background, very science oriented, and I did about 10 years of medical research on cancer and blood-borne diseases. Then I went on to work at the EPA. I call myself green-blooded. I love the nature and everything about it. And then I became a parent, and I had a preemie child, and I got interested in education, and I went on to work with some really big name schools in the area. They have hundreds and thousands of schools, and I saw something really missing in them. I saw what was communicated to the parents was not what was happening in the classroom. I pictured my daughter being in those classrooms, and I couldn't picture her being in those classrooms, getting that level of service. So I wanted to have a school just like the way I would want for my own child and in my home. And within 6 months, I had like 25 on my wait list, and I've been growing ever since then for the last 12 years.
Wow, I see that a lot. When I talk to owners and ask them why did you get into childcare, so often I heard my kids' daycare was horrible, and I said I could do it better myself. And that just comes from a lot of different people.
Mhm.
They get that vision in there, and they do a good
Yeah.
job. So thanks for sharing that story, and thanks for the
Mhm.
research you did. I'm sure that's really interesting in today's world. You probably get to see a lot of that cool stuff out there. And like, you ever miss it?
Yes and no. I mean, I really I loved what did then, but I love seeing the children thrive, and I know they are going to go out into the world and find cures for cancer and do great things. So I feel like I have a bigger impact here.
You don't have like a
Mhm.
lab in your house to try to cure cancer in your off time, do you?
No, I don't have the
Uh, just
time.
just checking, because that would be helpful. Just saying.
Why did you decide to join the Child Care Genius University coaching group?
First of all, I love Carol and Brian because they are two of the most authentic people that I have met in my life. They're very honest. They truly care about you as a person. And the advice and the guidance that they have given me has been just nothing short of amazing. And it has made a huge impact. And just sometimes the timing of those messages, and you're always there and you really care. And that's really hard to find. And I really appreciate everything you have done. And you're just two very extraordinary people that does nothing but give.
Well,
Thank you.
thank you, Mayosha. I'm very humbled by that. But you're a very giving person, and I mean, just in your intro, it talks about how giving you are. You gave up, a high paid profession to start a low pay childcare, which is low pay when you first start out for sure. And you struggled, I'm sure, and you did. And I'm glad that I was a small part of helping you. But you are the one of the most amazing people I've ever met, and we've been
Oh,
close for many many years, and I'm very humbled. And but I help people regardless of how close I am. I just like helping people
yes,
that are struggling in child, because it's a struggle some days, right?
it is a
Some
struggle.
days pieces just don't fit. You try to
No,
get that square peg in a square hole, and even that's not fitting. And I
no.
know it's because I was there, and I didn't have a coach. I didn't have a support
Mhm.
system. So thank you for those kind words. Always be there for you. And just
Yeah.
can't wait to see this new adventure. We're going to talk a little bit later in the podcast about your expansion plans. And I love that I was a part of all the stages of that,
Yes.
help getting you to where you are today. And I can't wait to come visit your school when you have it open. That's my promise. So what are I mean, you've seen a lot of come. You've been in the business for a few years now. What do you see as some of the biggest challenges childcare owners are facing today?
Yes, I think pretty much everybody, they have such a big heart. And it's great to have a big heart and to care. But don't forget, you're a business owner because I see them not focusing on the financials and the business side of things. And remember that the financials is the blood of the organization. So that to manage that is really important and think like a business owner.
Yeah, that's huge. So often that we somebody comes to the industry like from a teacher background. They were a teacher, then they become an owner, and they still teach the teacher mindset, and they don't get the owner mindset. And you're gonna have to learn to start thinking like an owner. So that's a good piece of advice. What specifically part of ownership do you think people lack the most in?
I think they need to really I find having a coach and being part of the Genius University is really important because you don't need to repeat the same mistakes that others are doing. You can learn from each other. You can get the individual guidance that we are getting from both of you, which is, I think, really valuable because not everybody's problem is the same. And sometimes you don't want to talk about your problems in a group, and sometimes you want to talk about it. So what can take 10 years can be done in 2 years if you are part of a group and you have a coaching program because the amount of knowledge that you get is just amazing. And that support system, really, because it's a lonely on the top and you're dealing with everything by yourself and you want to have that support system.
For sure. I love that. I always heard the analogy, if you want to walk through a minefield, follow somebody. And some people are like, what's a minefield? You can get blown up. I'm a military guy, so I know what a minefield is. But if you wanted to walk through a minefield, you want to step in somebody else's footsteps that have already done it and not got blown up, right? Well, there's
Right.
landmines in childcare. There are
Yes.
landmines everywhere, from licensing to financials to business to regulations to
Yes.
government. Everybody wants to blow you up. Your
Yes.
competitors,
Yes.
uh, and it's so much better if you walk in the footsteps of somebody who's kind of not got blown up or got blown up and, and now doesn't have a leg and knows they know what to do
Yeah.
now. And so you could avoid the problem in the future because I've been blown up
Right.
quite a few times. But thank
Yes.
you for sharing that.
You have any big plans for your childcare business that you'd like to share with our audience?
Yes, I am right now under construction and really growing my dream to offer the children the best. We are creating a gourmet kitchen where we can actually partner with farmers and give them food from scratch because I believe that the mind and the body has to be supported. We have great plans for a beautiful playground, interactive outdoor classroom because I want to really bring in the nature in this urban environment. Curriculum only gets stronger. I just came back from doing tennis camp, so it was just really satisfying to see the little kids holding their cute little tennis rackets and learning. So I'm a very strong believer in giving the children the best, and every year we just keep getting better.
I love it. I can't wait to see this building. It's huge. It's big. I remember when you first brought this idea to me, and you're like, "Can we make this work?" And we worked the numbers for a couple months before we
Yes,
figured out if it would work or not, and that was a lot of fun. So just to see it from idea to concept to an offer being accepted, to construction being started, to regulations, working with school, council, getting things through and approved. There's a lot of work. And so
it's
probably like a 2-year process, start to finish, but the
it's
reward is
taking a
going to
long
be
time. It's taking a
it's
long time.
been a while.
It's
Yeah.
by the CIA, and it's definitely it's longer than I would like, and it's definitely not for the weak-hearted.
It's
But
not for the weak at heart, for
yeah,
sure. But guess what? It makes you stronger in the
yes,
process. And
I'm
I can't
I'm
wait. It's going to be fun. That was my promise that I'd come visit when you get opening, and then Carol and I
yes,
will be
yes,
there for sure.
yes.
All right.
I can't wait to
So,
have you all with us.
oh, I can't wait. I mean, I love that area, and it's such a good childcare area. So I can't wait to see how you fit in the community, and your success is going to be great. So I love it. So in closing, looking for a good piece of advice that you can give. I mean, you've been doing this a while now. You've got a lot of experience. What would you give advice to somebody thinking about opening a childcare business? Somebody who's not, maybe he's just dabbling in it, thinking about opening. Should they go for it? What is your advice to them?
I would tell them to do a market analysis on their area. You don't want to open a school in an area that's already got a lot. Learn how to see what are your unique features. You have to study your market, know what they are offering and what they are not, and what makes you stand up, and really know your financials, really know that have a support system to push you through, because it's not an easy road. You're dealing with a lot, and you're also dealing with humans and children, the most precious asset. And it's not going to be, it's very rewarding, but it's not an easy road.
Yeah, and it's better if you're thinking going from a home daycare or just watching two or three kids in your home into a center, that is really night and day. It's a lot of difference between. So I love what you said. A couple things I'll hit on is the market research. Something I didn't do early on, and I put, two different schools in markets that just weren't good markets.
Right.
And I couldn't make a profit there, and I ended up having to close them early on. But what if that was the only school I ever opened? I'd have been out of business and never back in. So,
Right.
you got to learn to do that research ahead. Thankfully, I was able to rebound from it and learn from it. And also financials. Oh my God, I had so many people try to open schools that are underfunded. And if you don't have enough money behind you, you could be in trouble real quick. And you
Yes.
got cost overruns with renovations, which I've seen. We've also seen not having enough for payroll. So, plan on having 6 to 12 months of expenses the day you open, and then you're in good shape. But any
Yes.
less than that, if you're relying on parent deposits to kind of pay month two rent, you're going to be in trouble really fast, and especially if a
Yes.
recession hits. So it's just things, when we consult with people before they open, first thing I look at is I always say, how deep are you? Meaning, how much money do you have behind you? Because that's the first question I ask. Because if you don't have the money behind you, nothing else matters. Like
Right.
that's the most, because you got to be able to pay your people.
Yes. Yes.
They for some reason they stop showing up to work when you stop
Yes.
paying them.
You
For
will
some
work for free.
reason,
You can work
nobody
for
wants
free,
to.
but you will work for free, but not the people, not your employees. They won't work for free. So
The
yeah.
government won't let them work for free. Like even if you
Yes.
got all volunteers, it's against the law. You cannot.
Right.
You have to pay the people, and you
Right.
can be in big trouble if you don't pay the IRS. And that's another thing people mess up. Like they
Yes.
don't know how to do payroll
Yes.
tax regulations, and everybody. You live in some cities. Cities take a piece of the tax. Like you got
Yes.
to know all these things. And
Yes.
recently hired somebody in New York State, and I didn't know that they had a special disability policy that was required in the county that they're at. Like you got to know all these little details,
Yes.
or you're on the hook for all these little intricate things. So,
Right.
uh, so yes, having a coach, having somebody that can help you, having a guide, and getting all your questions answered before you get started. That's probably the biggest advice. And I thank you for kind of all sharing that with that. And so, where is your center located? What area? So if somebody wants to look you up, where are you located?
Yes. I'm in Northern Virginia, McLean, um, area, close by
Plain,
the
Virginia.
Tyson's Corner. Yeah.
Yeah. So you're not far from the CIA. So,
No,
um,
no. My new building is right on the same street as CIA. We're pretty much neighbors.
interesting. Okay. So if anybody wants to visit your school, they can go see the CIA at the same time, right?
They might need some, there might be a process to go to CIA.
Yeah, you're probably right. Probably a little
Yeah.
security getting in that building, but there's probably a lot of security in your area, so it's probably a pretty safe
Yes.
area, right?
Yes. Yes, there is. It's a lot of security. We're very close to to the White House, and the
Yeah,
power of, you know,
yeah, the
this
big
country.
government. So a lot of security there, but also
Yeah.
a lot of people with deep pockets too. A lot of wealthy people living there. So that's kind of nice when it comes to tuition, and probably not very good when it comes to property expenses and property
Yes.
taxes.
It
But
is.
so
It's
I guess in
really,
both
yeah.
ways. But anyway, thank you for taking time to, meet with our listeners, learn a little bit about Mayosha. And like I said, Carol and I always respected you. We appreciate you. And thank you for the kind words. And we will see you at our next conference, and people can meet you there. And you definitely, if you haven't attended one, you definitely want to come, and then you can hang out with Mayosha
Yes.
and maybe learn and walk in her footsteps. And you'll be able
I'm
to be
always
successful.
I'm always happy to give, and I'd really appreciate you both. You're just two extraordinary people, and I'm grateful that our paths have crossed.
Oh, me too. I'm not quite sure how we met. I'm just glad that we have.
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayosha. Have a good rest of your day.
You too.
Well, she's a pretty interesting person, isn't she?
Very interesting.
I could definitely see her behind a microscope and little petri dishes and Bunsen burners. And
Can't believe she has kids speaking French, Spanish, and English by kindergarten.
yes,
It's
this is an
amazing.
amazing program, and she wants to teach them how to cook.
Yeah.
Like really interesting things she has in her program with multi languages. Her STEM program is very advanced. So I think if you look her up, and hopefully if you come to our conference in the fall, you'll get to hang around with Mayosha. But we have many clients that have
Yeah.
really interesting parts to their program. We've been to a lot of
Yes.
really cool schools. So we're looking forward to that conference, and you can meet us. So like I said, if you haven't got your tickets yet, go check it out right now again at childcaregenius.com, and then select the conference tab, and select the financial leverage conference. We see you there. So this concludes this episode of the Child Care Genius podcast. Thanks again for taking time out of your life to spend a little time with us.
And don't forget to hit the subscribe button so you won't miss a future episode of the Child Care Genius podcast. And we'll see you next week.
Bye-bye.
Thank you for listening to the Childcare Genius podcast. If you enjoyed the show, please do us a favor and hit the subscribe button so you don't miss a future episode. Don't forget to visit our website at childcaregenius.com to see a list of services we offer to help grow your childcare business. Until next time, thank you for being a part of the Childcare Genius community.